without him. Now, yeah, they did lose Rondo, who's an important part of that piece. But adding him to that squad is like, yo, they're in the Houston, Golden State, whatever other team you want to throw in the West, their conversation. Not that they're going to, win the title, but Boogie pushed them in that conversation if Alvin Gentry could work that out. I think he didn't get any offers because what other teams in the NBA that had money, at the bottom of the end to afford Boogie, there are only 5 teams: Sacramento, Phoenix, Chicago, Dallas. I'm doing this off the top of my head. I'm missing one. I'm in college football script right now. I can't think of who the other team is. But there's another team in the NBA that really had cap space. And maybe Los Angeles, because they have room for 2. Mm-hmm. So I'll throw Los Angeles in there for the sake of conversation. But and maybe the Clippers. I think the Clippers also had. I forgot what other team. But there were really only 5. I'll stretch and say 6 teams that had cap space. He really even go after Boogie for the money that he deserves. So I ask you this question.
Okay.
If you're Boogie Cousins and you're Sacramento and you're Phoenix and you're Dallas and you're Chicago, are you really thinking, even with money on the table, Boogie's going to leave New Orleans?
This is true.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, why would he leave New Orleans to come? He putting himself in position to at least fight for a Western Conference championship. Why would he leave there and come here? That doesn't make any sense. That's a step backwards. And it's the money for 1 year. You know what I'm saying? What are we going to do with that? Why is he going to leave there and not stay there for 1 year? Especially since he didn't see what it's like. It's not like he was on the court to see what they could possibly do. He's going to get help to see what New Orleans could do. So why they even think about getting Boogie? And these are the teams with money to get him. So I think we need to think about that reality when we think about nobody came and got him, especially after he decided to go to Golden State. What? He didn't even give by a chance. He was like, what was it, day 2? He's like, I'm going to Golden State. Like, whoa. We didn't even know that was a possibility. Golden State didn't know the possibility. Apparently it was Draymond. Draymond needs to be a damn general manager. Hell, he got Kevin Durant and he got Boogie.
Right.
Yeah, Draymond's a beast.
Does Draymond need a job?
Right. No, Dre does. Look, if I'm Golden State, I'm like, Draymond, look, man, you know what? We need to get you. You need to get injured real quick and get you in this front office, dude, because you're doing the business. They need to get him another check. So, long story short, man, all I'm saying is that the Boogie situation, I look at it a little bit differently because the teams that really have money even look at him were always a step down. And at no point did anybody, any of the teams that didn't even have money, think of him as an option. Once again, Houston could use him. They're not thinking about that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying Boston. Philly maybe could use however you want to look at it. If teams that are fighting for a championship are not even thinking that he's going to come to them, for veterans minimum. Nobody's even thinking about that. That's not even on radar. So you got to keep in mind when he's saying teams didn't come after me, dude, there's only like 5 or 6 teams that even thinking about you coming there that could afford to even bring you there. And guess what?
Exactly.
None of them in a position to do what you could do in New Orleans. Right? Nobody thought. They're not even checking for you because in their minds, why would you leave New Orleans to come here? That wouldn't make any sense. And you know what? DeMarcus is my dude. But I'm not trying to speak for him, but I kind of will speak for him. He'd be a damn fool if he even did that. Like, why would you leave New Orleans to go to Dallas? Why would you leave New Orleans to go to Sacramento? Why would you want to go? Dude, you got 1 year left on your deal with New Orleans. Stay there and see what it's like, dude. You could look up and win a chip. So I don't, with him saying nobody looked at him for a reason because the situation didn't lend itself to anybody looking at him that had the money to get him. Why leave New Orleans? So that's kind of the way I look at it, man.
That makes sense. You know what? You mentioned college football, and I want to. Oh, okay. I'm not going to give you the traditional question. Should they be paid? We know they should be paid. I have been, like everybody I've had on the show, I've had with any influence or anything, I've presented this to them, and hopefully you guys can filter this to somebody who can say it again, say it out loud. Just here in Chicago, you know, I'm from the near north side, Old Town, Cabrini Green, that area. I was born by the Village. You from the south side. We know what's going on in Chicago. We know what has been going on in Chicago for I don't know how long. We know what the situation is. Can we start to talk to some of these people in the hierarchy of college sports? I want to institute something to get some talk therapy to some of these young people, because the spiel that they are giving to these parents that we're going to help your son be a better person. When you leave in Inglewood, when you leave in Cabrini Green, when you're leaving the west side of Chicago, you are going through traumatic situations. The example I always give is this. Me and three of my homeboys were we lived on 7th Street on the north side of Chicago. We have summer jobs. You know how it is. You got a couple coins in your pocket. Let's go back. You know, now the food your mama cooking ain't good enough. You got a couple of dollars. You won't go to the restaurant. We used to literally say, hey man, it's 6:30. It's about to get dark. Let's go to Sammy's before they start shooting. So we will walk through this field early enough not to get shot at.
Right.
So I know throughout the country, people from our community are experiencing these things, like the young man who just watched his father get killed at the convenience store Sunday and things of that nature. Why is it anyway where I would love for you to, if you can talk to somebody's school, and I want your opinion on this, how about get some counseling, some talk therapy to some of these young people? Because could this be some of the reasons why, you know, even though I don't think he's wrong, but why Pac-Man Jones couldn't just keep walking past that guy? Why Jameis Winston does keep having poor decision-making abilities? Why Ezekiel Elliott making poor decisions? And so the list goes on and on. Maybe we need to start, hey, I'm Nick Saban. We have a medical school at the University of Alabama. We have people who can help him with decision-making or poor impulse control and things of that nature. I think we have to, if we are truly trying to help these young people, especially in football, because football players are going to be there for 3 years. Talk therapy for 3 years could do, counseling and therapy for 3 years could do these young people a world of good. What do you think about that as a possibility?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea as it stands, but I think the problem is unless you enroll them in sociology classes, to deal with societal issues, then I'm not saying it doesn't make sense, but that's not your responsibility. Yes, you're coming in there and telling the family, we're going to take care of them, but part of taking care of them is letting them become their own individuals that they are. When a recruiter and a coach go in there, this is strictly a football conversation.
Right.
It's strictly right. I ain't trying to be this person. Daddy, I ain't trying to be this person. Mom, once again, I got a 3-year investment in this dude. If he's messed up in the head, his head ain't right in the 18 years before I got him, it ain't gonna change in the 3 years that I'm gonna have in here with me. And that's not. And I hate to say it, that's not our responsibility, and that's not why we're not paying him to come to this school. We're paying him to come to school, so I don't want to look at college as to be the end-all, be-all savior of black kids going there, when that's not what they're going there to do. Look, that back and forth is an agreement. It's a shake hand, sign contract agreement of why your son is at this school. That's it. Now, it'd be nice if we were able to do something extra. Now, if I'm Nick Saban, I'm like, look, man, I understand where this kid come from. I know he wants to take a criminal justice major as an easy way to get out, or broadcast media major, where they, whatever. I know they want to take, basket weaving, so because we know they're here to focus on football. But my suggestion is this: dealing in the situation he's in, coming from where he comes from, not only will we give him a scholarship, my suggestion is to get him majored in sociology. And when he gets to those classes, we, as coaches, specifically say, this kid is from this area. Inside of these classes, can you deal with these issues that he has to deal with? Because that would be beneficial to him and us. But that's not our job. This is a society issue, and we got 55 other players to deal with. If I'm Nick Saban, I can't constantly look, hey, you're a great player, but 75. I can't focus in on you, dude. I got to do the same thing year after year with every player on. I got to deal with every player's needs. And I ain't got 55 assistant coaches to deal with y'all individually. Mm-hmm. So my spit is going to have to be general. I got to spit the same thing to you I'm spitting to this kid in Iowa. You know what I'm saying? I got to spit the same thing to a quarterback, down in Georgia that I'm trying to make sure Clemson don't get. I can't, personalize this thing because guess what? If I do personalize it, as sensitive people are in this day and age, they'll be like, Nick Saban came to my house and told my kid he was ghetto because he only dealt with ghetto. You know what I'm saying? If you're Nick Saban, you can't win. You can't personalize it. Like, dude, people in your hood getting shot and kids, your friends are getting shot, this, that, and the other. And you be like, yo, did you tell, so-and-so and so-and-so this? When you went to visit him, in, you know what I'm saying? In Louisiana?
Yeah, you're right.
In the latter part of Georgia? Yeah. Did you go down to Florida and tell him that? No, but this was, so now, almost not Nick Saban's a racist. You know what I'm saying? You can't even go there.
Yeah.
Right,
right.
So you can't.
What?
Right, so you got to be general about your whole approach, right? You can't. You got to be very general, but what you can do on a college basis once they get there is recognize the needs of each kid and try to make sure that when you pitch selling the kid the school and making them come there, is, hey, man, let's get you involved in, look at classes or, while you're there that can help you deal with the stuff you got to deal with in your real life. And we got those majors here. We got those classes here at University of Alabama. So when you're dealing with a kid in Florida, where the kid in Florida is dealing with something totally different than what he's dealing with in Chicago. Where the kid in Florida ain't got to worry about the gang situation. They got to worry about, the shooting situations like that. He got to worry about conceal and carry. And some guy just rolling up on him in a gas station saying his music's too loud, he may die that way. That's a whole nother sociology class. So if you're Nick Saban, you're like, I got to deal with this kid in Florida, this kid in Chicago. How can I get them on the same page but still have a general feel to bring them in here? Here, Chicago, we're going to get you in some sociology class to deal with this. Florida, we're going to get you in some sociology class to deal with this. You know what I'm saying? I'll take you far. I'll take you dealing with a kid upstate in Massachusetts who may be a five-star tight end or defensive tackle, who's a black kid that's dealing in a red state. Man, I'm the only black family in this neighborhood, man. I'm surrounded by Republicans and Trump. How do I deal with that? Okay, I'm Nick Saban. I want you to come down to Alabama and play with me. You know what? Your major's going to be political science. That's what it's not the football coach's job to figure out what he's going through and how to exist in, being a black kid in Trump land.
Right.
Like, I can't do, we got you, we paying for you to come here to play football. We can't deal with that. But what we can do is suggest things as that coach that is recruiting you to put yourself in a situation educationally that you can build on something when you come back here, you're better able to manage. That speaks directly to your situation. We can do that. And we have political science class where you can look at politics and you're living in a political landmine historically and what you could deal with that. So you know what? Come here and play football with us, but we're going to make sure you're major political science. We're going to get that. And talk to those teachers like, here's the situation. He's in your class. Here's the situation. At some point, can you deal, make him understand what we're trying to deal with. And teachers like, oh, that's part of our curriculum. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, he'll be a part of that. So you see what I'm saying? It's not on It's not on the football coach because that's not his job, man. He got 50 kids or 60. What's the college roster? I think it's 55. I'm not sure. That's a lot, man.
College, man. Some college teams like Florida State got 100 kids.
Okay, whatever. All right, okay, cool. Cool, but so you're asking one man